Since the launch of the actual V-Class in 2014, Mercedes sold more than 200,000 units of that car. Now there is an update available. How it drives, what else it delivers, let's find out now. And we have a closer look at the new Marco Polo as well. The biggest change regarding to the exterior design of the V-Class happens at the front of the car because it features a completely new front bumper. So now we do have this big air intake down here running from one side to the other. But important, if you order the AMG line, you will have separate big air intakes here at the outside. And then we do have a new grille on board as well. We have these two elements here on both sides of the big central star. But here again, if you order the AMG version, you will have just one of them, as you already used to with the AMG face. And then very important are the headlamps. As standard, the car comes with halo lamps, but we do have the top version on board, which is called LED Intelligent Light System. And that means you can always drive with full high beam on without causing any trouble to the people around you. The V-Class is now powered by a 4-cylinder diesel engine we already know from, for instance, the E-Class, which is called OM654. And that you can order in 3 different power levels, which is 163, 190 and 239 horsepower. And that is the engine we have on board. And that delivers 500 Newton meters of maximum torque. And with that on board, the car is quite agile because it starts from 0 to 100 in only 7.9 seconds, top speed 220 kilometers per hour. Very important, gear shifting here works with a new 9G Tronic at the moment, but later the year there should be a manual gearbox available. And the V-Class is normally rear wheel powered, but you can also order all-wheel drive. My test car is featuring the top engine, which is the 4-cylinder 2-liter diesel, and that delivers 239 horsepower, 500 Newton meters of maximum torque, and with the so-called over torque function, it offers another 30 Newton meters when necessary for a very short time. And this is combined with the 9-speed automatic gearbox, the so-called 9G Tronic. And that really works very, very well in that car. You always have enough power to drive the car, to accelerate if you want, to overtake if you want. And what I really like with it is that this 9-speed gearbox really is very smooth and easy. So you normally do not even recognize when it's shifting gears. And this is really something I very, very much like. And that changes a bit when you change the drive mode from comfort to sport. I think then the transmission gets, let's say, a bit nervous, but maybe that's a touch too much, but it's really completely different. The car gets a bit stiffer, a bit more dynamic, but I think it's absolutely not necessary because even in comfort, you do have enough power. You do find the car very comfortable, and if you need the power, it's there. So for me, a sport mode is in that car something you don't, because that car is for cruising, not for speeding. The seats of the car really do offer loads of comfort and more than enough support, and I really do sit very, very nice and generously in here. The only downside I can tell you is, for me, that I do love to have a bit more of a leg support down here. It's too short for me. But I've talked to colleagues which are shorter than I am, and they all told me that it's very comfortable, it's more than sufficient. So I think it's only me and my size that makes the difference. There are rims available for the new V-Class between 16 up to 19 inch. And because we drive the top version as standard, you will get 19 inch. But here we have 18 inch mounted, and I think they do their job quite well. The V-Class is available in 3 different lengths. So you can have the car with 4.90 m, 5.14 m or 5.37 m. Our car is the middle size. Very important, the wheelbase of the 2 smaller ones is 3.20 m. The bigger one will have some centimeters extra, but I think even the medium size is quite a big car. So now I took a seat at the first row of the rear seats, and I didn't change the position of my driver's seat, and as you can see, I already have plenty of space, so it's really comfortable in here. But I can adjust the position of my seat if I want, and so I can adjust the leg room I want, of course. Behind me is still more than enough. Important with the V-Class is you can order 4 single seats. You can also have a bench with 2 or 3 seats in both rows. And there is another option which is quite different. And these are the so-called luxury seats for the first passenger row. And what it's all about, I'm talking to Jessica Mugent from Product Marketing. Jessica, luxury. What does that mean?
Yeah, our new luxury seats are a very comfortable feature, especially for our shuttle customers. You can electrically adjust the back, the head, and your feet to get into the lying position. And they have a cooling and heating function. And my personal highlight is the massage function in 3 different steps, which is very comfortable while driving.
But that all doesn't come for free, so the extra costs you have to be aware of are about 7,700 euros in Germany. The interior of my V-Class is very, very nice. I do really like the combination out of this white leather, this dark wood, and the black leather here, the dashboard. I think the combination is as nice as the materials and the craftsmanship. And I think the interior of the V-Class is even better from its look, from its feel, than the actual Volkswagen Transporter or Volkswagen Multivan. But on the other hand, regarding to the infotainment system, there is a bit a lack of, let's say, up-to-date technology. Because with that car, you do find, of course, a sat-nav which works perfectly. You have voice control on board if you want. But for instance, you will not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And I think in this price segment, it should be, at a minimum, be available to be ordered with extra costs. And for that car, it is not. Of course, there are some changes here at the interior as well with the new V-Class. So you will find new fabrics, you will find new leather, you will find new design elements. But I think the most obvious change are these air outtakes here, because they are now quite similar to the ones from the A-Class. So that looks a bit like a turbine. And I do think that fits the car perfectly. And the good thing is it really lifts the level of the interior and makes it more fresh, more modern. At the rear of the car, nothing really has changed, but you will find taillights with LED technology. But I think more important is an optional feature which gives you the opportunity to only open the top side of the taillight. And that gives you access to the part of the boot. And there is another optional feature which this car does not feature, which is a platform right here, which you can lift on one hand side to get a bigger boot, and which includes 2 baskets for stuff you just bought. Something very, very practical. But if we now look at the whole boot, you will find quite a big amount of space. The V-Class, depending on the size you order and depending on the chairs you order, offers up to 5,010 liters of maximum boot capacity. And I think that's more than sufficient for everything you may have bought, for every holiday trip you may plan. And you think you can easily even move your whole house with that.
The V-Class basically belongs in the same vehicle class as the Renault Trafic, the Ford Transit or the Fiat Talento. However, if you're looking for more than just a lot of space in 7 seats, only one serious competitor remains: the Volkswagen T6 or shortly T6.1.
The suspension and the steering of the V-Class really works very nice. So the steering is precise enough without being nervous. The car always goes the way you want the car to go without doing extra movement or unexpected things. And with the suspension, it is the way that the suspension is stiff enough to not let the car roll too much. Of course, you feel it's a heavy and long car, but it feels very stable. And on the other hand, what I really like is it's so comfortable. So you just glide over the surface. So you really do not feel any obstacles, anything at all. It gives you response enough to understand what the car is doing, but it's simply very nice and easy to drive that car. And I think I can stay in that car for ages.
But the Mercedes already has the 9-speed automatic transmission on board, while the Volkswagen features a manual gearbox. Unfortunately, even the latest version of the V-Class has no electromechanical steering and so no active lane keeping assistant. Different at Volkswagen. The Volkswagen T6.1, which will be available in autumn, will offer this technology and other assistance based on the electromechanical steering.
Aside to the new V-Class, Mercedes also presents the new Marco Polo, and that's the reason why I talked to Jessica again. Jessica, what makes the new Marco Polo a Marco Polo?
Yeah, the Marco Polo is the compact camper van by Mercedes-Benz based on the V-Class. That means it gets all the new features that the V-Class also offers. It gets the new design, new diesel engines and all of the assist systems. But not only in your daily life it's very comfortable, but it also has a lot of camping features. For example, it has a pop-up roof where 2 people can sleep. As well, the electrical adjustable bench downstairs, there's also room for 2 people. Furthermore, it has a kitchenette with a cooling box for all of your cool drinks in the summer. It has a gas stove and a sink as well.
So that means you get everything, and on top, my personal favorite is an extra window in the rooftop. And that means you can watch the stars while sleeping. Regarding practicability, the V-Class offers loads of different compartments for bits and pieces. Like you have big compartments here in the doors. You do have 2 cup holders here at the front, which I really do like a lot. And you do have a small space here for something like glasses or something. And then you have this new armrest here, which you can open, typical Mercedes. And then you do find a standard compartment in here, which for instance also holds the USB sticks, USB sockets, and very important is beneath that one there is another box, and that is a refrigerator. And in this you can easily put 2 0.5 liter bottles, and so you always have your cool drinks, and that is separated from the standard box, so you can really use both easily. On top of this, we do have these cup holders here, and the good thing with them is you can heat them and you can cool them, and this is something I really do like a lot.
Based on the cheapest possible entry price, the 2 vehicles are not so far from each other. So, for a Volkswagen T6 Multivan you pay from 35,490 euros in Germany. And for the V220D in the trim level Royce from 39,631. The price for a V-Class in a nice configuration seems extremely high at first glance. But for a well-equipped Volkswagen Multivan you can also quickly exceed the mark of 80,000 euros.
That was my test drive in the new Mercedes-Benz V-Class, and of course the new one also delivers loads of luxury, loads of comfort, and driving that car is always a real pleasure. It features a maximum space, more than you can ever use. It features seats for up to 8 people, and so you can have the car for day-to-day driving as well as for the holiday with the whole family. But there is a bit of lack of new technology when it comes to the infotainment, because that car does not feature Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, even not as an optional feature. And I think with the price list of Mercedes, that should be available. But when we talk about pricing, the V-Class starts at the base model from about 39,000 euro onwards, but it already delivers the 9G Tronic, which is, by the way, an absolute great gearbox. The car shifts gears so smooth, so easy. But if you want to drive our car, which is the medium length, the top trim level and the big engine, that starts above 90,000 euros. But on the other hand, you will then drive the big luxury Mercedes van.